frying pan. Today I'm going to do a veal shoulder dish. I like braised meats, it's going to be braised. I'm going to have it in a frying pan here behind me with some olive oil. I'm going to put some flour on it so that it, and fry it so that it gets a nice crust, bit of a crust on it. And that will be used in the frying pan to help thicken the sauce that we're going to make with tomatoes and onions and a bit of garlic. And I'm going to have fresh oregano, fresh rosemary, and some bay leaf in it. So let's get back to cooking again. An old man in a frying pan. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So I'm just going to salt and pepper this a little bit with my special spice blend that I have. Turn it over and do it again. I've got a bit of, you'll notice I have some chopped up garlic here. So let's get this into the pan, into here, and get flour all over it. Okay, there's one piece done. Let's check it. Looks good. Just gonna check my frying pan. Almost hot enough, almost. So this can come back here, give it a shake, come back here for a sec. Do it again. And this is, I say, it's veal shoulder. It was a good price today, so that's why I picked it as a beef. So that's getting ready to go into the frying pan. Let's see, just check it. Yeah, it's hot. So hopefully it all fits. Look at that. Let's get this in. Perfect. So I want it to brown on both sides. And what I'm doing is I'm slicing up some onion. I got some red onion here, and I'm just slicing it up. I'm going to try and cut that in half. It's going to go into the pan when I take the beef out. I've taken the beef out of the pan and I put it on a paper towel to let it dry a bit. So the next stage to this, you can see that there's a lot of brown bits and stuff in there right now. And again, that's going to be flavor. So in that goes the onion. And we'll get this cooking. I'm trying to scrape up any of those bits. We'll let that cook for a minute. So in goes the garlic. I put it in. It's 3 small garlic chopped up. Let's see what we got. Oh, it's getting better. Yes, that's good. I'm going to deglaze it with a little bit of wine. I had some red wine from last night here. So I'm just going to put a bit in. And we'll let that cook for a few minutes so that the alcohol burns off and the flavor remains. The white wine, the red wine's pretty well almost all gone. So to this I'm going to add some rosemary chopped up and a bit of fresh oregano chopped up. And I got a can of Italian plum tomatoes here that I put in a bowl and I squeeze them with my hands to break them up. And that goes in as well. And that smells good already. Okay. So I'm gonna let that warm up a little bit. Okay. Okay. So I've nestled those into the sauce, and I'm going to let that come up to a boil, like a slow boil. And I'm going to turn it down just a bit because I don't want it too hot, like coming too hard. It's just going to wait, and then we're going to put the top on, and we're going to cook it for an hour and a half on a very slow simmer. Peel and slice up some potato to go with this dish. It's going to be a layered dish, and so I'm going to start on this right now. The potato, but one of the little tricks I use is I actually take a little bit off the bottom so I got a flat surface to work on, so I don't, it's not rocking on me when I'm trying to cut thin pieces. See, I'm getting really nice little pieces here, and I'm using my fingers as a guide. And there we go. I got a bunch of potato pot, and I'm just gonna parboil this for about probably 10 minutes at the most to cook it partly through. So then I'm gonna layer the bottom of this pot with the potatoes, and then I'm gonna put some of the tomato sauce, and then the pieces of beef, and then cheese, tomatoes, whatever I decide on top, and more cheese. So I get a layer built up. And then when we go to serve this, you're going to be able to just cut a layer out and put it on the plate, and it's all in one encompassing dish. Prepare other layers that are going to go on this dish, and one of them is tomatoes. So I'm going to slice them thin. And I'm going to put them in with the tomatoes. So I'll layer everything. Just want to try it and see what it's like. Okay, so that's all ready to go. Been cooking for an hour and a half. I've taken it out of the pan. Give the sauce a bit of a taste. Definitely more salt. I'm gonna be careful not to put too much in though. Okay, so we're ready to start to layer this, and this should be interesting to do. So I've got the sauce ready here. I'm going to put a bit of sauce in the bottom of the pan I'm going to use, which is right here. And put a little more in. The next job here is to start to layer. So I'll lay something down here to protect my counter, and then I'm going to bring this over. And we'll begin the layering. So the first thing I want to layer are the potatoes. So I'm going to start layering them. And what I want to do here, too hot to handle, just like so. So they're like al dente, the way I would describe them right now. Okay, that's done. I'm going to put a bit of olive oil over top of that. So the next layer that goes over top of this is actually the meat. So we'll start layering the meat in the right spots over top. Okay. So I've got a fairly good layer of meat here, and then we'll go on to the next step. Cut a cheese over top of this. I'm going to crumble it. There we go. Now I'm going to put a bit more sauce in there. So here we go. And now for the next layer is going to be tomatoes intertwined with this. This is going to be tasty. Just like that. So the next thing to put on this is I'm going to go get some fresh basil. I'll be right back. Fresh basil, breaking it off and putting it in here. Boy, does it ever smell nice. I just happen to have a basil plant outside that I got going this spring, so it's perfect for dishes like this. I think that's enough basil. Now, we have to put another layer of cheese on here, but I'm going to use a different cheese. And actually a bit more sauce too. So we'll start off with a bit of sauce first. Salzburg. Yep, looks good. All right, let me put some cheese on. We'll use it. Now, I'm going to put another cheese on top, some Parmesan. Parmesan. That should be enough. So the next step of this is to put in the oven for 20 minutes, let the cheese all melt, and she's ready to go. A lot of Kalamata olives to it, and I've got my cherry pitter here, which gets rid of the stone out of the olives. So you just put it in and squeeze, and there's the stone. So I'm just throwing these in as we do them. Kalamata olives around it, and should bring the flavor up quite a bit. And I've got the cheese on there with Parmesan cheese, and it'll be going in the oven in a few minutes. And I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. Afraid, so I just added it around it and covered it a little more. Just gonna add a bit of olive oil over the top of this. There we go. Yum. In there for 20 minutes at 350, and we'll take a look when she's done. Okay, here we go. Here we go, it's all finished, and you can see a nice little browning on top. Cheese is all melted, so we'll begin having it taste in a few minutes. This is delicious. The meat's tender. The potato's a bit al dente, but it's cooked just enough to be tasty. The cheese is great with it, and the tomatoes are still got their shape and very nice.